It's the Just Our Imagination Challenge, and today we're using Dollar Tree items to transform the most unexpected items into festive holiday decor. I'm Melissa. This is CraftCrumbs. Thank you for joining me. I have 4 DIYs for you today using these 3 challenge items. I'll create one project using each of the items you see here, and then at the end, I'll use all 3 of these pieces in one project. Getting started with the toilet paper challenge item, I'm going to make a paper mache concoction and add a few drops of alcohol ink to give it some color. I laid a few strips of toilet paper, I think 4 squares each, out on some parchment. While I would have preferred to dip these strips of toilet paper in the mixture for a faster result, I didn't think it would withstand. So I'm instead doing it the long drawn-out way with my paintbrush. I'm going to saturate all of these pieces and set them aside for some time to dry. I put them out in the sun and it took just under 12 hours to completely dry and stiffen. I'm back inside now and I'm going to pull it free from the parchment paper. What I'm making right now are poinsettia leaves. You can see that I have a template that I cut out from a piece of cardstock laying there on the left. And I have it in 2 different sizes for the small petal and the large petal. And the large petal can also be used as the leaf. I'm folding these sheets of toilet paper like an accordion, so I only have to cut once. I have this container of potpourri that I had left over from another project, and inside I found these little gold balls. I'm going to use those on the center of my flowers. I created 4 flowers in total and set them aside. I'm going to start working on this wood piece that I picked up from Hobby Lobby a few weeks ago. Using a minimal amount of glue, I'm going to attach this strip of fabric down first, and then I'll glue my flowers to the top of it. To add a little more character to this piece, I wanted to add handles to the sides or top and bottom, depending on how you display this. I had a couple of these handles that I ripped off of Dollar Tree crates for another project, which is upcoming. And I kept them just because I knew I'd be able to use them for something at some point. So I'm going to glue one to each side. I think that adds a nice finishing touch. I'm going to blow off any free flying glue strings I can find, and then I'm going to reattach those 2 brackets to the back so I can hang it either vertically or horizontally. And this project is complete. I have a little habit on this channel. I like to make things three-dimensional. And because I only tack the flowers down with a single bead of glue, the petals are free to move when I have the ceiling fan on or someone touches it. Let me know in the comments what you think about my use of the toilet paper challenge item. As I stated earlier, this is the Just Our Imagination Craft Challenge, hosted by Kathy, Jo, Brenda, and our guest host this month is Joanna with Joanna's DIY Life. I have their channels as well as the entire playlist linked down below for you, so stop by and enjoy all of the creativity that's been put together for you. Moving on to the pill bottle challenge item, I'm going to use these two chalkboards from the Dollar Tree and start by gluing them together. I'll clamp and tape them and set them aside for about 15 minutes. I'm only using these two tumbling tower blocks to brace that middle while it dries. Coming back, I will use my scoring tool to cut out the paper I need to go over the chalkboards. I painted the frame of the chalkboards in the color Barn Red by Folk Art, used Mod Podge to adhere the paper to the chalkboard, and then spray Mod Podge on top of the paper to seal it. And now I move on to a total act of desperation with the pill bottle. I had no idea what to make with this pill bottle, but I had an idea that I could probably use it as a vase. I used my snips to cut the pill bottle in half and then took it outside and sprayed it with primer. I then topped it with chalk paint in the color Hazelnut and added a few transfers that correspond with the paper. Once all that is dry, I'm going to glue it onto that wood frame we made from the chalkboard pieces. I'm going to fill these miniature vases with greenery I found at Goodwill and Christmas picks from the Dollar Tree. Thank you for still being here. I know these videos can be long and I appreciate your time. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so you can always find me and come back anytime. This channel will continue to bring you beautiful and affordable DIY inspiration. I didn't like the way the top of the pill bottle looked, so I'm going to add in two of these black and white check bows that I picked up from Temu. And then this project is done. It has absolutely no purpose, but it's adorable. Let me know in the comments what you think about my use for the pill bottle challenge item. The mop head challenge item was another one that I had to ponder on for weeks, before I could figure out what I was going to do with the mop head. If you've been watching Dollar Tree DIY videos as long as I have, you're familiar with almost every product that we're going to be using in this DIY. It takes a few minutes of crafting before I actually get to the mop head portion of it. So hang in there with me while I make this little snow woman and turn her into a diva using the mop head. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. This is your stamp of approval and lets YouTube know that this video is worthy of pushing out to other crafters. Your comments also help. And if you're watching on your TV, you can continue to do so. Just open the YouTube app on your cell phone or tablet, find this video in your watch history, and leave a kind word for me. It only takes a few words to trigger the algorithms to push this video out, and it really helps my channel. I found these tiny resin Christmas tree pieces at Hobby Lobby and thought they'd be perfect as buttons. For the head, I'm using a snowman ornament that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue it onto the top jar at an angle to give her a little personality. I left this next mishap in strictly to entertain you. Look at my struggle with this yarn. We've all been there, right? I'm going to use these branches that I picked up from Temu a while back as arms for our Snow Diva. And to attach them, I'm going to use my glue gun to pierce holes into the sides of the jars. And using a little bit of hot glue, pushing them into those holes so they stay permanently. I wanted to give her an accessory, so I'm taking a piece of twine and I'm going to sandwich it between, on one side, snowflakes and on the other side, little hearts. And I'm not 100% sure where I got these. They were either at Temu or Hobby Lobby. If you know where I may have gotten these, please let us know in the comments. Okay, so now we're going to start with the mop head. I'm going to take off several strands and separate them. I think they separate into 3 or 4 smaller pieces. And in smaller groups, I'm going to glue those to the head of the Snow Diva right underneath the hat and give her some long, beautiful, flowy hair. Or would it be icicle hair? Nonetheless, she's getting a fancy mermaid cut. And this project is done. This one was a lot of fun to make, and I hope you guys like it. The challenge items take us out of our comfort zone, have us creating things that maybe we never thought we'd create before, and create things that maybe no one would want in their house. So you tell me if this is one of those items. Let me know in the comments what you think about my use of the mop head challenge item. Thank you for sticking with me this far. We have just one more DIY to do, and I'm going to use all 3 of the challenge items in this project. I'm starting off with the paper mache mixture again, but this time using a 1-to-1 ratio in hopes that it would dry a little faster for me. I'm tinting it again, but this time in the color amber. This time, I think I was a little smarter with it. I used a fan brush to apply it and just make sure I had more even distribution. And then started the drying with my heat gun, set it outside under the sun, and it took a total of 6 hours to completely dry. You can find the recipe that I used for each project as well as the anticipated dry times in my description below. Off camera, I gave some attention to the Advil bottle by removing the label and all of the sticky stuff and covered it in black acrylic paint. And now I'm going to take this piece of dowel rod that I've cut down, and on just one end, I drilled a tiny hole with the smallest drill bit I could find. We're creating an inkwell, and this will be our faux calligraphy pen. I'm going to use this wooden spool as a place for the pen to rest when it's not in use. But I need to make the hole a little bit bigger so that that dowel rod fits in it. And when I'm drilling at a slight angle so the pen doesn't sit straight up and down, but rather sits at an angle. I found this wood block in my stash, just a scrap piece of wood, and I sanded the edges to round them a bit and then covered it in a gel stain in the color walnut. Here I have all of my pieces painted black and dry. I cut off a small piece of the toilet paper and I want to write up a label for the bottle. It's going to say premium ink. I do 2 here because I didn't know if I wanted it to be all on one line or 2 separate lines, so that's why you see me doing 2. But once I pick the one I like, I'm going to glue that to the bottle using Mod Podge. I use gilding polish, which is one of my favorite things in the craft room, by the way, to dry brush all of those little black pieces and around the edges of that wood block. You can find this and other items I'm using linked in the description for you. This next piece is what really makes the finished product cute. On that remaining strip of toilet paper, I'm going to take a black marker and write the words Santa's Naughty List. This step is optional. It's just something I wanted to do to add a sweet surprise, just in case somebody were to ever get very curious and unroll the scroll. This next step is totally unnecessary, which I obviously thought was necessary when I was filming this. I took a skewer, cut it down to size, and used it on each end to help me roll up the paper. And then I drop them out the bottom when I'm done. This is a feather I found in my backyard, and I'm going to hit that with a little bit of the golding polish as well. And this will get glued into that small hole we drilled in the top of the pen earlier. So far we have the pill bottle, the toilet paper, and we need to use the mop. I'm going to pull 2 strands from the mop head and spray paint them red. Let them dry and then glue them around that wood block. I added that little black and red bow to the top of the pen, and this project is done. This is another one that was really fun to make. Watching it come together was very satisfying. And hopefully no one else in the challenge has thought to use these pieces together in this way. Please drop me a comment and let me know what you think about my use of all 3 of the challenge items in this project. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a note in the comments letting me know if you have a favorite or just your overall thoughts of this challenge. I love to read and reply to your comments. I have another Christmas video coming for you very soon. Until then, my friend, don't forget to craft what you love.